Welcome back to Connect MKE. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. If you are just joining us, our focus this morning is on the Greater Milwaukee Foundation. The foundation believes in a Milwaukee that is equitable and thriving, and they're fully aware that education, economic opportunity, and health are the building blocks of a healthy life. My next guest is Ken Robertson. He's the Executive Vice President, the Chief Operating Officer, and Chief Financial Officer for the Greater Milwaukee Foundation. How are you, Mr. Robertson?
I'm well. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing very well. I thank you so much for your time today. And in your role as VP and CFO, you are responsible for investment administrative, financial, accounting, risk management, and a whole list of things for both the Greater Milwaukee Foundation as well as its supporting organizations. So if you would, start off talking about the community-centered Thrive On collaboration that was just announced last year.
Yeah, thanks for the question. We're really excited about Thrive On. We think it's an extremely important collaboration. For us, it really is a signal to Milwaukee that our work is really going to be community centered. As our tagline states, we really believe that we're truly better together. So we're coming at this collaboration, partnering with the Medical College of Wisconsin and Royal Capital, which is an emerging developer, a developer of color in this space that we're helping to open doors for. We believe this is truly kind of a community led type collaboration. It is not the Greater Milwaukee Foundation or Royal Capital or Medical College actually leading. We are walking alongside our community and we're taking cues from our community. We've spent literally the last couple of years and really listening intently to our community, what their desires are, what their hopes are. And we're coming alongside with some resources, hoping to be part of a solution, hoping to be part of building a community that'll allow for brighter futures for everybody.
Yeah, and I think that's so very important because a lot of times what happens is people gather in a boardroom and they make decisions on what they think is best or which way to go or what needs to be done. But the Greater Milwaukee Foundation really does an outstanding job in connecting with the community, talking to those residents and finding out what they feel needs to be done in order to make a difference. And I think that that's what really stands out when it comes to the work that you do. Many are familiar with the former Gimbels and Schuster's building right there on King Drive, and it was actually neighborhood input that helped put this in place, and resident engagement, you've said, will keep it going.
Yeah, it's a huge collaboration for us at the foundation. I mean, it's roughly 400,000 square feet.
Wow.
And, you know, in a nutshell, the way I like to describe it is really in three pieces. We're bringing mixed income housing to it, a little less than 90 units that we're going to be making available for the community. We're bringing in administrative spaces. So the Greater Milwaukee Foundation's headquarters is actually going to be moved there, as well as several community-facing departments from the Medical College of Wisconsin. And then, you know, the slice of the equation that I like to call kind of our secret sauce is really the first floor. And the first floor is really going to be dedicated to community programs. Again, going back to our engagement efforts, not community programs that we brought in, that we designed, that we insisted was needed in the community, but these are all programs that was designed as a result of our community engagement work. So the community has decided this. And, you know, we're really attacking it in kind of 4 or 5 slices. Economic opportunity in that space. So there's going to be opportunity for entrepreneurial folks to come in and learn to help support their small businesses. Early childhood education, which is, you know, key for us. There's basically going to be a world-class early childhood education center that'll be just slightly less than 18,000 square feet that we believe will house about 100 children that will complement what's happening in the neighborhood. So, our focus has always been additive to it. So there's childhood education centers across this community. And our intent was not to come in and take from the businesses that exist, but to actually complement the businesses in that space and, use our childhood education to really fulfill or to close a gap that was really created during this pandemic. I mean, the pandemic has obviously impacted us all deeply. But one of the things that's really happened is it really has decimated the early childhood education space, and we believe we have the tools to really make a difference in that space. So we're leaning in heavily there.
I think it's exciting. Is there a date that you have in mind on having this all come to fruition?
Well, if I could knock on wood and say a little prayer, we're praying that we will actually end up closing on this yet this month, the end of the month. We'll have a shovel in the ground shortly after that. And then we predict this project really would be about 15 to 18 months to substantially complete. So summer 2023 to fall 2023 is what we're calling right now.
Wow, definitely something to look forward to. And it really puts into place the saying, it takes a village, because no one can do any of these things that you've accomplished alone. So your collaboration that you speak of, that's huge. But you've got so many other things in place. There's the MKE United Anti-Displacement Fund. You've got the goal of really changing the narrative there. And then approximately $100 million has been approved for joint investment in building improvement and development. So can you talk a little bit about the importance of strengthening communities in this way?
Yeah, I mean, we really have to really kind of attack this equation on multiple fronts. And for us, this has always been about more than brick and mortar. And I'm not underestimating the building, because we think the building is going to be fantastic. And you talked about the approximately $100 million investment that we're going to make in brick and mortar and all the programs that we're going to build within that space. But we're looking outside of our building, and we're looking at the community itself and what's needed within the community. So I talked a little bit about early childhood education, what we're going to do inside our building. We're making substantial investments across the entire neighborhood in the early childhood education space in a way to increase seats within the neighborhood and increase quality within our overall neighborhoods. We're making business loans for small businesses up and down the corridor around Martin Luther King. One of the things that, this pandemic again has, really hurt businesses overall. But, businesses that have really been hurt by it are businesses owned by people of color, especially small businesses.
Yeah.
They haven't been able to keep the traffic through their businesses, and a lot of businesses have closed, unfortunately. So, even before we put a shovel in the ground for our building, we wanted to lean in and support those small businesses that are still out there, to make sure they're in place when we actually join them in the neighborhood. So we're making a large investment in providing support for small businesses in the shape of loans, for them. Loans that are under conventional kind of capital standards. So we're getting in, the cost of capital will be lower, and we're being patient in terms of our need to actually collect on that capital. So extending that capital in a way that small business owners can really leverage it, really grow, and really just sustain themselves through, what is really challenging times right now.
Absolutely. And I think with all of the challenges and all of the issues that our city faces, particularly at this time, it's a breath of fresh air to hear about all the outstanding things that you're doing to help make a difference right here where we live. Is there anything else as we wrap up today's conversation?
I just, we started by saying it's really impossible to get after this work alone. And on behalf of the Greater Milwaukee Foundation, I would just like to extend the invitation for others to come in. I mean, Milwaukee is a great place, and there's investments, and we're growing all over the place. But there's neighborhoods that have been left out of that equation, and we need more people to join us in building those neighborhoods and lifting the neighbors up in those neighborhoods in a way that we can all enjoy Milwaukee.
Well, that's a great way to end today's show. Thank you so much for your time. It has certainly been a pleasure.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Kenneth Robertson is the Executive Vice President, Chief Operating Officer, and Chief Financial Officer for the Greater Milwaukee Foundation. Again, you can visit their website at greatermilwaukeefoundation.org. That's going to do it for today's show. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. As always, thank you for watching. And keep in mind, you can see past shows by visiting our YouTube page under Connect MKE. Please join us again next week as we connect you to the people and the issues that affect where we live, work, and play. Have a great day.